I want to respond to Conference Report's excellent video, Stop the Ride. His video is in response to another video by Do Not God, and the title of Do Not God's video is Fluck Yourselves. In Conference Report's video, he does a thought experiment. He imagines that there's a big red button that, when pressed, would end all psychology and biology on the planet Earth, and everything would go back to, and I think I'm almost quoting him exactly here, chemistry, physics, and math. Basically, the elimination of organic life on the planet. And of course there are some people who are so pessimistic and in such despair about hope for the future that they might be tempted to press that button. But Conference Report says that he would not press that button. There are certain factors that would hold him back. First of all, sentiment would hold him back. He would worry about the extinction of others, particularly his family members and his pets. Also, he says, the possibility of being wrong would hold him back. He didn't elaborate on that, but I take it that he means his assessment that organic life deserves extinction, that he might be wrong in that assessment, and that would hold him back. And then lastly, he would be held back by a glimmer of hope. That is, maybe we can evolve our way to a better world. It's that last condition that I want to talk a little bit about in this video. About 2 years ago, I wrote to Noam Chomsky. I'm very active in trying to bring about political and social change. I've been active in this in various degrees over the years. And very often I get in despair about that, because it seems like there's very little change that results from the efforts of many people, even like the efforts of someone like Noam Chomsky, who is very much dedicated to working for a just and more egalitarian world. And I wrote him and I asked him, aren't you just tempted to give up, just to chuck it all in, since so little change seems to result from our efforts? And Professor Chomsky wrote back almost immediately and said that he felt that he was obligated to continue, even if there was a small chance that things can get better. And he gave me a version of Pascal's wager and applied it to the idea of hope for change. Basically, he argued, if our efforts can contribute to positive change in the world, then we have comparatively much to gain and little to lose by engaging in those efforts. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized that this was a pretty sound argument. That humanity can improve and evolve in ways that are salutary is a logical possibility. We can conceive it. And I would argue that we can do even more than conceive it. It's also the kind of logical possibility for which there is some empirical evidence. There are human beings who, in varying degrees of intensity and at various times, evince the kinds of qualities that would result in a better human experience if those qualities were largely universal in people. So, the crux of my argument is that even if there is a small chance that humanity will change in a way that is salutary, I am therefore morally and intellectually obligated to hold on to that scintilla of hope and work for that change. I would also argue that we have a species obligation to hope and work for change. That even if I, Dana Garrett, does not directly see that change in my lifetime, and I am under no illusions, I don't think I will see that change in my lifetime, I still feel as if I have an obligation to do it for not only my children, but for people I don't even know who will come after me to work for that change. I I always think often of the wildebeest, the adult wildebeest that circle the young whenever there's any kind of danger present. Uh, there is a kind of felt sense of species obligation to protect future generations, and I think that that species obligation is present in us as well. So I would say that we have an intellectual, moral, and species obligation to hope that humanity will improve, and we are obligated to act on that hope. And we have this obligation as long as there's some possibility of change. However remote, we are, in short, obligated to hope.